So I get a number of questions from mainly guys saying that they've been working out, they've been lifting weights, and they just can't seem to put on muscle. And I'm gonna tell you, you're not that special where it's not working for you. There's a number of reasons why that is gonna be happening, which we're gonna cover in this video. Now, out of any of the things I'm going to talk about, it could be any number of them, or it could be all of them together. But furthermore, I just want to start it off with saying that you probably haven't been doing it long enough. The thing is, a lot of people want this instant gratification of wanting to build muscle as soon as possible, and it's not going to work that way for you. You're not going to be the one to be able to build muscle in the shortest amount of time possible. It's not going to happen for you. It takes time for everybody. However, it could be a bit quicker for you versus somebody else. How your body specifically adapts to putting on muscle could be quicker than another individual or slower. It really is just opposed as to the other individual and how fast or how slow they will put on muscle depending on their genetics, how often they go, if they're challenging their body enough, what their macronutrients look like. There's a lot of different factors involved in it, which is why you should never get hung up on the fact of wanting to put muscle on as soon as possible, as this is a marathon versus a race. So get rid of the idea of trying to put on muscle as soon as possible, because you're only going to dig yourself into a deeper hole of being upset as to why you think that you should have expected it sooner than you thought you should have. Replay that again if you have to, but you're going to want to just let it go, follow your routine, put in the time and effort like everybody else, and watch the results come through. You know, I've always said that fitness in general, but especially lifting weights, is the ultimate way to watch somebody grow and develop accountability and also even a bit of responsibility as well, because there's no shortcut to it. You have to want to go and put in the time. You have to be the one to go to the gym or pick up the weights at your house, make sure you're eating the correct amount of calories, making sure that you're, for the most part, getting in the right amount of protein. Like, it's got to be you. Nobody else can do it for you. You can watch all the YouTube videos you want. You can watch all the mindset videos you want. You can say you're going to do it, but unless you act and you do it consistently over months and years, it will not happen. And if you don't stay in the game long enough, then you're never going to get the results that you want. Now, I can literally end the video off there and leave you with that, because that is probably the biggest and foremost number one thing that people don't follow through with when it comes to putting on muscle. But I'm obviously going to go into a few other things, with another one being your nutrition. Now, this is going to vary depending on the person. Obviously, there's people who want to lose weight. Obviously, there's individuals who just want to put on muscle. And since we're talking about putting on muscle, we're going to stick to the fact of what you need to do with that. I'm going to make this as easy as possible for you to understand, because it really is that easy, and people make it seem like they need to take a specific amount of protein and they need to make sure that they eat it around a certain time, and if they don't eat it right after they work out, there's going to be a problem. Guys, if you just get roughly your body weight, okay, you eat around what your body weight is in grams, okay, you will be supplementing your body with enough protein to be able to make sure that when you go to the gym and you lift weights and you tear the muscle fibers and they recover and grow through sleep and through the rest of the day, that they will be supplemented with enough protein to recover and grow over time. That's all you need to worry about. You do not need to worry about all these different types of things that you hear on the internet, where you have to get 0.5, 6, 7, 8 micrograms of this and making sure you're eating it at this time. As long as you're getting the right amount of protein every day, okay, and you're making sure that you're going to the gym and you're lifting weights, then that's all you really need to do. You don't need to really focus on more than that. That's the main thing. And isn't that nice to understand that it's actually a lot easier than you think it is, versus hearing so many other people's approaches to what they did in order to build muscle and get the physique they want. A lot of people come from different backgrounds. They were given a different hand at the poker table, meaning some people had to basically find it a little bit harder in order to put on muscle because they just didn't have the muscle mass for it when they were born. Or they were given, or they were more lean and they actually had more muscle tissue on them, so they found it a bit easier to put on muscle tissue. When I first started out, I found it hard. I was very lean, but to actually put on the size that I have now, it took quite a bit of time. Where I came across many other people that found it a bit easier for them. I had no muscle mass on me. I was a skinny guy. And I remember coming across a few different people, one particularly a friend of mine who already had like a nice developed chest. I mean, now compared to what it is before, it's even more developed. But nonetheless, I was sitting there looking like, did I get the short end of the stick? Well, what I didn't have in muscle mass, I had in the fact of, in another area of not having a lot of body fat. I was very lean, I was more or less already ripped. All I really needed to do was develop my muscle mass and keep going to the gym and lifting weights in order to get the physique I wanted. It took longer than I expected, which is a common thread amongst a lot of people because they don't know any better, but nonetheless, it still came to me. But anyways, kind of digressed a little, but back to what I was saying. As long as you're getting your rough amount of what your body weight is in grams for protein. So if you weigh 200 pounds, okay, you roughly need around 200 grams of protein. And if it's a little bit over or a little bit under, it's fine. There have been even a few studies to show that people didn't even need as much as their body weight. That's just a safe marker to go by, okay? Because not everybody is literally biologically the same. And when you take a study and it's made across standard, it doesn't mean every single specific person needs to go by that standard. They might be a little bit off when it comes to it, they might be a little bit over, but nonetheless, that's a safe standard that people can go by, and that's what you need to use as well. And then the other thing is, which is a little bit harder to believe, especially on the western side of the world with the amount of food that we have, if you don't happen to get enough protein in a day, that's fine, because your carbs and your fats have a protein sparing effect, meaning they take up the role, so to speak, okay, for you to understand. They take up the role of protein and help to replenish and restore and build muscle mass as well. They also play a part. Protein is the most important, but your carbs and fats are important when it comes to building your physique as well. Okay, stop going to the gym and just picking random exercises to do. You need to have a plan when it comes to building your physique, okay? When you go to your work, okay, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your friends, when you're going to see your friends, you know what days you're going to do it on, where you're going to go, more or less that's what's going to happen. When it comes to your work, whether you have your own business or you're going into work, you know what you're going to do for the day. You have your day roughly set up and your foundations for the day met, meaning that you're going to know what you're going to have to do and what you need to get done. When it comes to your finances, you should be understanding where your money's going, how much you have in your accounts, what you're investing in, what you're spending every month. It's only going to make you a better spender and a better investor and have more money for yourself. Nonetheless, you have to be structured. When you're structured, okay, you're going to have more respect for yourself and you're going to have more accountability for yourself, because when you have structure and you know what you're going to be working out for the week and what exercises you're going to be doing, you're going to get better results that way. You're not going to be guessing what muscle you need to do, what exercise you need to do. If you do that and you don't know what you're going to be doing ahead of time, you could be either doing more for one muscle or not enough. And generally speaking, it's not enough, because you like to probably hit certain muscles more than others because you like doing those muscles or those exercises more. Generally speaking, guys like to do chest or they like to do biceps more. That's great. I'm glad you have something that you enjoy to do, but you want to make sure that you're hitting every body part equally. It doesn't mean that you can't favor one a little bit more. You can, but you need to make sure that you have a plan when you're going into the gym so that you're going to develop your body as well-rounded as possible. And it's going to give you better results doing that as well. Now, when you go into the gym and you're working out, it's not enough to just pick up a weight, do 10 reps, and put it back, and not even really put it through any form of stress or force. You have to get a weight that's definitely not too light, but not too heavy where we're doing a strength set yet, okay? Especially if you're somebody who's just starting to work out. You need to challenge your muscle, and I've spoken about this a lot of times in my other videos. I'm gonna show you a quick example here pretty soon. And my Instagram is full of that. What's going on, guys? I just wanted to take a quick break from the video and say thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video and showing support. It really, really honestly is appreciated. And also, if you're somebody who's been struggling with weight loss or to put on muscle or to learn even how to exercise properly, then you can actually head over to my website. I have a membership area there that you can join. It's made for people that need a direction in order to get to the goals that they want, but don't know what direction to take. It's got a host of how-to videos,
mindset videos, nutritional videos, and educational videos, and is set up for your success. If you're interested and you want to be able to get on this, then you can drop a comment in the link below, or you can click a link in the description and we can take it from there.
If you go to my Instagram profile, you'll see tons and tons of videos of what I mean when it comes to making sure your technique is good and allowing yourself to control the tempo to create more tension, so on and so forth, okay? And what I mean by that is you need to grab a weight, you need to control the exercise, focus on your mind to muscle connection, and also ensure that you're going to control the tempo, okay? And what I mean by that is I'm going to show you right here. What I'm doing here is I'm controlling the movement, generally speaking about 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, or 3 seconds up and 3 seconds down. Controlling the movement, controlling the tempo, really building up the stress within that muscle, within that body part, because that's what's going to cause you to really get muscle growth. It doesn't mean if you just grab a weight and do 10 reps, you're not going to challenge the muscle. You will, but it'll be a lot lower on that tension scale versus what I'm actually talking to you about right here. Here, you're going to be challenging the muscle more. Yes, it's going to burn more. Yes, it's going to hurt more. The recovery might even be a little bit longer. And if you continuously do this over and over, the results that you will get 6 months down the road, 1 year down the road, 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road is going to be greater versus just picking up a weight, doing 10 reps, didn't challenge your muscle as much as you could have because you didn't want to, right? You're always going to get better results when you put more effort and work behind it. This included. So when you do an exercise, no matter what it is, make sure that you pick a weight that's challenging for you, okay? Generally 50 to 60% of what your maximum 1 rep is. You want to get a weight that's roughly 50 to 60% of your 1 rep max, okay? Meaning it's going to be 50% to 60% of the weight of what weight you would have done had you were doing just 1 rep. And then you take that weight, you take that specific exercise, whichever exercise it is, and you go for repetitions. I like to do 15 plus reps. Doesn't mean you still can't get a burn with 10 to 12 reps. However, generally 15 plus is going to give you a better outcome just because you know when you hit 15 plus, it's a higher repetition. Higher repetition generally leads to more tension. More tension leads to more muscle tearing, and then that's more growth over time, okay? The more repetitions you do, the more muscle growth and tearing over time you will get, okay? Again, it takes time. Nonetheless, if you're not there yet and you're just starting out, you don't have to do that right now. Just get used to the fact of doing repetitions with controlling the method and the movement and the technique as best as you can. And then, once you have a nice plan put together, you know what exercises you're doing, you know what body parts and what days you're gonna do, you apply the method I just talked about right before this about controlling your tempo, controlling your movement, and making sure that you're controlling the exercise as well, the technique and all that. And then every month or so, you're gonna increase it and make it a little bit harder. Whether you increase the weight a little bit, you add more repetitions, you add more to the time if you're doing more of a time-based routine, whatever the case is. You want to keep challenging yourself and create more of a progressive overload. Reason why is because when you continue to challenge yourself even further, that's going to lead to more results for you. And that's it. That's all it comes down to. It doesn't have to be harder than that. Everything I've literally told you in this video is all you need to know in regards for you to get the results you want. It's if you can stay at it long enough and you can stay consistent at it long enough and also create more progressive overload over time. Meaning adding more to your routine, doing more exercises, adding more weight, trying different types of exercises and increasing the repetition, basically making it harder and more challenging for yourself. That's how you're gonna succeed, that's how you're gonna excel, that's how you're gonna get better, and that's how you will build more muscle. All right guys, let me know what you thought of the video. Click like, subscribe, share, and comment. Comment down below if you have anything you wanted to ask, and I will see you guys around.